The reason cameras still terrify me. I thought I was just scared of security cameras. Then, years later, my grandmother told me something I wish she had kept to herself. There was never a camera in that corner when you were little. But I remember it. The black lens, the tiny red light blinking in the dark, and the thing on the ceiling that kept watching me. I have never liked cameras, not in a normal way. Whenever I notice one tucked into the corner of a room, I feel my body shift away from it before I even realize I am doing it. The worst ones are the small security cameras mounted near the ceiling. Black casing, round glass lens, silent, still. They do not move. They do not make a sound. But somehow, they always feel like they are looking straight at me. Last winter, my parents had to deal with some family matters, so we drove back to my grandmother's house. It was an old place in a quiet little town in Ohio. Not a big house, just one of those older homes with creaking wooden floors, narrow hallways, and the faint smell of dust and old furniture that never really goes away. I had lived there for a few years when I was a kid. Then my parents moved to the city and I left with them. When I stepped into the living room, I expected to feel nostalgic. The old couch was still there. So was the fireplace. Even the small round table by the window was in the same spot I remembered. Then I looked up. In the far corner of the living room ceiling, there was a security camera. It was mounted high, angled down toward the entire room. I stared at it for longer than I meant to. And just like that, the old feeling came crawling back up my spine. My grandmother came in from the kitchen with a cup of coffee. She followed my eyes to the corner. "You're looking at that spot again?" I forced a small laugh. "Yeah. I was just remembering how scared I used to be of that camera." She did not answer right away. Her face changed. Not fear exactly, more like confusion. "What camera?" I pointed at the ceiling. "That one." She looked at it, then back at me. "Your uncle installed that 2 years ago." I thought she had misunderstood me. "No," I said. "I mean when I was little. I remember seeing it back then." My grandmother shook her head slowly. "There was nothing there when you were little." The room went quiet after she said that. I did not argue. I just stood there staring at the corner. And then the memory came back. I must have been 5 or 6 at the time. During the day, the adults were usually busy, so I spent most of my time alone in the living room with my toys. At first, everything was normal. Then one day, I started feeling like someone was watching me. It did not feel like someone standing in a doorway. It was higher than that, quieter than that. Like a pair of eyes hidden somewhere near the ceiling, looking down at me without blinking. I checked the windows. I looked behind the couch. I looked beside the TV stand. There was nothing there, but the feeling stayed. It was there when I ate. It was there when I played. It was even there when I lay on the carpet with crayons scattered around me, trying to draw. After a while, I stopped wanting to be alone in the living room. My grandparents noticed. They asked me what was wrong. I never told them, because at that age, I truly believed that if I said it out loud, whatever was watching me would hear. And if it heard me, it would get angry. And then it would come down from the corner. The night that finally broke me was deep in the middle of winter. I woke up needing to use the bathroom. To get there, I had to pass through the living room. The house was almost completely dark. Only a little pale light from the snow outside slipped through the windows. I kept my head down and walked close to the wall. "Do not look up," I told myself. "Do not look at the corner." But when I reached the middle of the living room, I saw it. A tiny red light in the dark ceiling corner. Small, blinking, once, then again. Like an eye, my whole body locked in place. Then I heard a faint sound above me. It was not the hum of a machine. It sounded more like someone slowly turning their neck. I looked up. The red light was facing me. The next thing I remember, I was screaming. My grandparents ran into the room and found me crying so hard I could barely breathe. They kept asking what I had seen. I could not answer. I just pointed at the ceiling corner and sobbed. After that night, I came down with a terrible fever. They told me later that it lasted for days. They said I started talking in my sleep. After that, my memory breaks apart. As I got older, I gave myself a simple explanation. It had been a security camera. That was all. A little kid did not understand infrared night vision, so a blinking red light had scared him half to death. That explanation made sense, and for years, it let me stop thinking about it. Until I came back to my grandmother's house, until she told me there had never been a camera in that corner when I was a child. I thought maybe she was getting old and remembering wrong, but my grandfather said the same thing. We never had cameras back then, he told me. Not real ones, not fake ones. Nothing. I felt my stomach sink. So, what was I scared of? I asked. My grandmother did not answer right away. Then her face slowly lost its color, as if another memory had just found her. There was one thing, she said quietly. The night you had that fever, you said something strange. I looked at her. She lowered her voice. You kept crying and asking us. She paused. Then she said, "Why is there a woman's head on the ceiling?"